Welcome to Embrace Relief. I am Chelsea Winterholler, and I am so excited to be your coach today. This is episode 144, 3 Steps to Tech Freedom. In today's episode, we are going to talk about all of the tech battles you are having in your home and exactly how to find relief around each and every one of them. Hello. Welcome to the podcast today. I am so excited today to share with you a masterclass that I recently offered on how to find freedom around technology in your home. We are all experiencing battles with our kids, with our spouses, maybe with ourselves around how to use tech. We know that there are dangers around tech. But did you know that it's actually amazing too? I personally am so grateful for tech, and I know that it is here to stay. So I put together an easy 3-step process to help you and your family find relief around these tech battles in your home. I am really excited to share it with you. And if this episode resonates with you, I want you to shoot me an email at winterhollercoaching.com and get signed up for our May Tech Talk Live classes. We're going to have 3 classes where we dive deep into these issues, and I want you to be there. Here's the masterclass. All right, welcome you guys. I am just so glad that you're here. I always love doing these classes, and I just want to give you a tiny bit of background as to why I decided to offer this one on tech. I wear a few different hats in my life, as many of us do, as wives and mothers and wonderful contributors to our community. And so I'm a life coach who helps parents who have fear and anxiety, worry around their children's futures. And that's why you're here. You're probably feeling some overwhelm and some worry about your family's tech use. And I'm so glad you're here because that's exactly what we're going to dig into today. But I am also the director of production at a nonprofit called Project Stand. And we help empower parents and youth and communities with their tech use. So a lot of times my 2 worlds collide, and I have an opportunity to coach parents on tech use in their home. And it's been happening more and more. And so I decided that I wanted to do this masterclass so that I could just provide my clients and all of you some tips on how to change the feeling in your home around tech. Right now, I'm prepping for a parent night at a local school district. And again and again and again, I am reminded that parents are so awesome. I really, truly believe that you are the parent that your kid needs when it comes to navigating tech. And I could talk about this for hours, but today we're just going to talk for about 30 minutes. I love technology, and I know that when we can harness technology in a positive way, we get to create amazing things in this world. We get to create connections. We get to be educated in countless ways. And also, there are ways in our world that tech can harm us and can harm our kids. So let's just get into it. That's so funny that I just said that because my 7th grader, he hosts a sports podcast. And that's like his beginning line when he starts his podcast. He says, let's get into it. So he must be wearing off on me. So let's get into it and talk about our awesome kids and everything they can do on tech. Today, I'm going to give you a basically bite-sized info on my 3-step process on how to manage tech in your home. So first, we're going to build belief. Second, we are going to find facts that fuel decisions. And third, we're going to talk about communication with your spouse, communication with your kids. So first, let's just jump right in. We're going to talk about accessing your beliefs. I can guess a lot of thoughts that you might have or others in your home might have around technology. And I know a lot of these just because I work with clients like you all of the time, but I am also one of these as well. I am my own client, right? So I have a lot of these thoughts as well. You might think that tech is poisonous. You might want it to completely disappear from off the face of the planet. You might think that tech is sometimes great for babysitting your kids, that you only get alone time when your kids are using technology, especially my younger moms. That's a big dichotomy for them. You might wish that your husband and you could get on the same page. You might think that your daughter isn't opening up to you about tech use. You might think that your son is out of control or that tech is ruining our lives. Often, a thought that parents have is just that there is no hope. And I know it can feel like that because we really truly are living in this tech driven world. And I know that when you hear those thoughts, when you hear me say them, you totally recognize that they're not helpful, right? So good to recognize that. So these are what I call surface thoughts. If you've worked with me before, you know I talk a lot about surface thoughts and core beliefs because I feel like this fuels everything for us. It really, really does. We have these surface thoughts that I just told you the second that we see our kid connected to a device. We might see them walk out of school. We might walk into a room and see them on a television or on a Nintendo gaming system, right? We see them connected to their cell phone. And these thoughts, they feel like they're almost built into our brains. They come out of nowhere. Now, they actually come from training our brains to not kind of give in and lean into those thoughts. You have been operating from these thoughts for years on end, and that's okay because you're here today and we get to choose something different. So, when that thought comes to your brain, oh, my son is out of control, and you feel totally defeated, or when you are thinking, I just wish my husband and I wish we could get on the same page, and you feel really angry, that is totally normal. So I also have this thought a lot. I don't know how to fix this. That's when that hopeless feeling comes, right? When we're thinking, "Ugh, there's just no hope. I don't know how to fix this." We feel really hopeless. So we all have these emotions. I have them, you have them. Your surface thoughts in your brain loves to think these thoughts because it's neuroplastic and you have literally trained your brain to think that way. But there's just awesome news because we get to retrain our brains. And truly, if you are feeling angry because of a thought you are thinking, right? You are thinking, I wish my husband and I could get on the same page. And you are feeling angry, you might yell at your spouse. When you feel discouraged, you often, probably, this is what I do when I feel discouraged, you start making some rules in your home around tech that just don't help the situation. And when you feel hopeless, you just give up completely. Even when I said hopeless, did you see me? I just relaxed back. That's what we do. When we're feeling that, we just give up. We slump our shoulders. We feel a dark cloud coming in on us. But what I want to talk about mainly today is core beliefs. And our core beliefs come from something real. They don't just come from this simple rewiring of our brain that we've been doing for the past 3, 4 years, decade of our lives, but you can tap into these core beliefs when your brain is running wild, when all of those surface thoughts seem to be taking over. So often, before I can tap into my core beliefs, I need to let my brain release a little bit. I That's kind of what we just did, right? I know that I gave you some thoughts, but hopefully some of those triggered your brain. Oh yeah, I have that too. I always get out a pen and paper when my brain is running wild and I let it run wild. This is the best gift that you can give yourself is telling your brain that it's okay. It's totally safe to let these thoughts come out of your brain. We have built this world where having thoughts and having emotions doesn't feel safe to us. We feel like if we trap them inside, that is when we will be able to move forward. But that is not true. And I know that you guys know that because you're here, but we have to let these thoughts out of our brains on paper. When you're done, you can rip up the paper, you can burn it, you can do whatever you want with it. But I want you to get those thoughts out. And then I want you to choose a thought that is most painful for you. Often you'll have lots of thoughts on your paper. Some of them won't feel true, some of them will, but getting them out and then really leaning into what is truly your biggest problem, the hardest thing that you're facing right now, this is going to help you find relief. I know it seems counterintuitive to write all of this down. Actually, as I put my hand on my heart, I can feel my heart beating. It feels a little tense and a little nervous inside my body. But I know that as we do this, this is the path to relief. I promise. So I'm going to choose a thought from some of those that I gave you. It's the most common thought that that we jump into. One painful thought is just this: I don't know how to navigate this. I don't know how to navigate his tech use. I don't know how to navigate the conversations with my child. I don't know how to navigate the conversations about tech with my spouse, right? So I don't know how to navigate this is an extremely common thought that I would guess each of you have. When we have this thought, we feel discouraged. That's how I feel. I feel really discouraged. I feel heavy in my heart. I feel a lot of pressure pushing down even through my throat when I think I don't know how to navigate this. It feels dark. It really actually feels like this charcoal color of my shirt. Okay. And I just tell myself here, yeah, I'm feeling discouraged. This is what discouragement feels like. It feels dark charcoal gray. It feels like it coats my throat and pushes down into my chest. It feels heavy and feels like it's enclosing me. Yep. This is what discouragement feels like. Now, this is my favorite part. Most always in my coaching, we spend time slowing down and breathing and accessing beliefs. Now, I do want to tell you that I didn't used to do this. I used to process thoughts in my brain, and then I used to write down some thoughts that I wanted to think, and then I would force myself to think those thoughts. Do you know what? Sometimes it worked. Sometimes it would help me feel a little happier or a little more confident, but it didn't stick. It wouldn't last because all I was doing was thought swapping. And I had to find something different. So I did. I went out and I I sought after it. I looked for it. My heart was yearning for a deeper way. And when I did, when I chose to slow down and breathe and access belief, everything changed for me in every area of my life, in my relationship with my kids, in my relationship with my spouse, in with other family members, my relationship with God. Everything changed when I did this. So first, we breathe. Now, when I am feeling big feelings like discouragement, I love to breathe into my belly. I like to put my hand on my belly and I like to really feel the breath coming in through my nose down through my throat and into my belly, expanding. You can't see my belly. I should move it down a little bit. I can feel my belly expanding as I take that breath in. I want you to try that. In through your nose, down through your throat, and into that belly, and out through your mouth. You can open your mouth. Let's do that again. In through your nose, in through your throat, into your belly, and out through your mouth. Again, in through your mouth, in through your nose, down through your throat, into your belly, and out through your mouth. Often, after these first 3 cleansing breaths, my body wants to hold my hand on my heart. If you feel like you can move your hand to your heart, this will remind yourself that you are safe. You are safe to breathe. You are safe to access your core beliefs. Let's do this one more time. In through your nose, through your throat, into your belly, and out through your mouth. If you're able to leave your hand on your heart, please do. If it feels more comfortable to release, that's okay too. And as you listen to me, you're welcome to continue this breath into your belly. At this point, I love to just ask myself one simple question. What do I know? What do I know about me? I'm going to offer some thoughts that you might choose to write down, or you might choose to just pick one. You might find one yourself. What do I know about me? I know that I am a mom who shows up for my kids. I know that I am the parent that my child needs. I know that I can learn anything I put my mind to. I know that I am a person who fights for my child's mental health. I know that I create connection. I know I can develop trust. I believe our family is guided by God. If one of those stood out to you, please write it down. What do I know about him? Remember, we're focusing. We have this thought, I don't know how to navigate his tech, right? So what do I know about him? When I'm focusing on other people and trying to find beliefs about them, I start with basic truths to allow my brain to adjust. So a basic truth might be, I know he is healthy. I know he is a teenager. I know my child is seeking connection. We can learn to use tech responsibly. That might be a belief that you have. Or we can figure this out together. We have figured out these things before, and we can do it again. Now, there's one more area that I like to play with accessing belief around, especially when it's something with tech and I feel like the control is outside of me. I love to ask myself, what do I know about this situation? I know there are people who can help. You know that because you're listening to this. Chelsea, Chelsea can help. I know that change is possible. We see millions of people do it every day. I know that we aren't alone in this struggle. Guys, these beliefs that I just offered you, I spent time and experience to bring them here to you today. Beliefs don't come in our surface thoughts naturally. We have to pause. We have to breathe. This is so important. We have to tap into our core beliefs. Asking this question, what do I know? What do I know about me? What do I know about the person in question? What do I know about this situation? This can create an entirely different outcome in your family. Because when you know, you choose just one of those beliefs and you see what it does for you. I love this belief for myself that I can learn anything I put my mind to. Okay, rather than we had this surface thought, I don't know how to navigate his tech use. This core belief of I can learn anything I put my mind to. Oh, it feels so much better. It makes me think I am capable of navigating this. It makes me feel empowered. And do you know what a mom does that feels empowered? She comes to a class. You must believe something can change or you wouldn't be here. A mom that feels empowered goes out and finds statistics to share with her family. A mom that feels empowered seeks ways to connect with her kid. A mom that feels empowered seeks to change her own habits. And do you know what it does? It changes your home. You create an entirely different outcome in your family when you feel empowered versus feeling discouraged. I promise. I want to tell you a story. My sister has been doing a month-long Ironman. So instead of doing an Ironman in one day, she is doing an Ironman over a whole month. So she's over, cumulatively, she's biking 112 miles in a month, breaking it up, right? She's swimming 6,000 meters in a month, breaking that up into small digestible pieces. And the other day I had this thought that I should join her. And then I realized that I don't know how to swim. I know how to swim, but I don't know how to swim and breathe. And I was feeling, all of a sudden, I felt really discouraged when I was thinking, I don't know how to swim laps. This is going to be impossible. How am I going to do this? Can you hear yourself saying these things with tech use too? This is impossible. I don't know how to do it, right? And then I decided that I needed to tap into a belief. So I laid down. It only took 1 minute, probably. I laid down. I put my hand on my heart and I just breathed. I just took breaths. I just spent peace there. And I came to this realization that I can learn anything I put my mind to. I really can. I've done it a million times in the past. There's been impossible things like statistics or swimming that I didn't think I could do. And I decided to believe that I can learn anything I put my mind to. And guess what? The thought that came to me was, I am capable. I'm capable of learning how to swim laps. And guess what? The next day, I went to the swimming pool and my friend taught me how to swim laps. And I kind of stink at it. But I know that I am capable. I am going to continue reminding my brain that I am capable. And I am going to continue to return to this belief that I can learn anything that I put my mind to, especially when I start feeling that discouragement because I'm thinking I don't know how to do this. You guys, these thoughts create feelings in our body. And when we feel empowered, we get to go and change our homes and change our communities and change this tech world that we are living in, all because you took a moment to pause and breathe and find a core belief to operate from. I promise that operating from core beliefs brings peace and it brings relief. It creates an entirely different outcome. Number 2, let's talk about facts. Let's talk about facts that help us fuel decisions. Each new step that we take, we start by reminding ourselves of our core belief. Remember, we want to operate from empowerment. We want to feel peace and relief. So today, as we're stepping into facts that fuel decisions, I want you to use this thought. I can learn anything I put my mind to. That's what I'm going to use today. That's what I am going to use today. But you guys, tech is not just an emotional thing that you make up in your brain. Okay? Tech is real. There are real benefits in the world to technology, and there are real dangers in the world. But I need you to make sure that the things that you're operating from in your home are facts, not thoughts. So we talked a lot about our thoughts. We spent a lot of time on that, right? When you operate from thoughts, you often start operating from discouragement, worry, and fear. But when you access that belief and use facts, you can move forward with confidence when you are making decisions about how to use tech in your home. So there's a couple different types of facts that we need, right? We need to know what's actually going on in our home, and we also need to know what's actually going on in the world. So in your home, often I have clients come to me that are like, my kids, they spend 10 hours a week on video games. The first thing I ask them is that true? Is it actually 10 hours? Or is it 15 hours? Or is it 5 hours? We are human beings and we do so good at exaggerating. It is so important to be factual because knowing the facts, knowing that my children spend 5.5 hours per week on gaming helps me to fuel a decision. Do I want that number to be more than 5.5 hours? Or do I want it to be less than 5.5 hours? If we are operating from something we think is a fact, but it's actually not true, how are we going to make a decision about if we want more or less, if we need more intensity, less intensity? We can't. We have to operate from facts. Okay? A lot of people come to me saying that no one in my house cares about the rule but me. No one. Is it true? You guys, does anyone else ever care? Sometimes do your kids follow the rules? Sometimes does your spouse help in implementing them? Thinking the made up fact that no one cares but you might not be true. We have to know the facts. If your kids actually keep the rules 47% of the time, this helps us fuel a decision. We can decide if we would like that percentage to increase. And what do we do to increase the likelihood of our kids keeping the rules? We're going to talk about that more with our third section. But knowing what's actually going on in your home fuels decisions that you make. The second area is knowing what's actually going on in the world. So I love asking myself, what am I worried about tech? What are even the facts that I actually need to be educated on? Am I worried about cyberbullying? Am I worried about my kids encountering pornography, pornographic pictures? Am I worried about my kids sharing explicit images with others? Am I worried about self-harm or suicide? Am I worried about predators? Am I worried about loneliness? You need to get clear on your concerns and your worries and find facts around those. I have those facts at my fingertips. Many organizations do. The internet is filled with these facts. I tend to use Project Stand for my facts, and I will refer to them often when I am teaching about tech health. But you can find facts because do you remember that belief that we tapped into earlier? You can learn anything you put your mind to. Take that breath in through that nose, down through your throat, into your belly. Remember, we are reshaping this amazing neuroplastic brain that we have. And we're doing that by simply reminding ourselves of the belief that we found earlier. I can learn anything I put my mind to. Now, I know when I bring up these big words like suicide and pornography and cyberbullying, you might feel overwhelmed. I want you to practice settling into the peace of your belief. I want you to remind your brain over and over again through that breath what your belief about tech is. Now, one more reason that I love finding facts in the world is because husbands sometimes need statistics, okay? Um, as women, we are driven a little bit more. I'm sure someone could argue this on me, but for today's purposes, we're driven a little bit more by our emotions and by our beliefs. Husbands are often driven more by facts. So I like to find those facts about what I'm concerned about. It's a fact that dependence on a smartphone or on a gaming device produces addictive brain responses similar to alcohol and drug and gambling addictions. That is a fact. It has been proven. It is a fact that kids that spend less time on screens have better scores in school. It has been proven over and over again. It is a fact that pornography exposure is related to poor body image, anxiety, depression, lower self-esteem, and the list goes on. You guys, these facts do something beautiful for us. They help us make educated decisions. They help us make guidelines for our kids and for our home. We might make guidelines like no phones in bedrooms, what apps we use and what apps we don't. These facts can help us choose what kind of filters we want on our devices. These facts can help us decide how long we want to spend on devices. These facts can help us know what to do when our child is exposed to pornography. All of this comes because facts fuel decisions in our home. That would be a great core belief. Facts fuel decisions. I love that. If you're taking notes, write that down. Okay, third, we need to figure out how to communicate with our spouse and our kids. What do we do first always? We're starting with that belief that we accessed. Hand on the heart. Breathe in through our nose, into our belly, and out through our mouth. Look at us rewiring our amazing neuroplastic brain. We've already said this belief to ourselves at least 3 times. You have already accessed this belief 3 times. So remember, today, this belief that we're using is I can learn anything I put my mind to. So step 3, when we're learning how to communicate with our spouse and our kids about technology, often when we hear communication, we automatically think, well, it's someone else's fault. It's because they're not listening. It's because they don't do what I asked them to. We push the blame outside of ourselves. because it feels simpler. It feels simpler than taking it on yourself. But I need you to do something for me. I need you to remember your core belief. I need you to put your hand on your heart and I need you to breathe in to what you know deep in your core. I see a couple people tuning in right now. I'm so glad that you're here. What we're going over now, after you have watched this portion, go back and watch the beginning so you can learn how to tap into your core beliefs, because that is what will change everything in your home. Remember, the core belief we're using today is I can learn anything that I put my mind to. Okay, so what if you can learn to communicate about technology with your spouse? What if you can learn how to communicate about technology with your child, even with a teenager who doesn't want to? Here's another fact. Going back to that second step, our facts fuel our decisions in our home. Okay. It is a fact. Studies have been done and are proven that we know that the more open the communication between parents and children about tech use leads to healthier relationships. And it reduces those digital risks that we talked about. It reduces cyberbullying, exposure to pornography, increased sexual experimentation, sexting, anxiety. You guys, this is such good news. The more open the communication is between parents and children, all of those risks take such a dive. That's exciting. That's what we're learning here today, is how to create that in our homes. First with our beliefs, then by using facts to fuel our decisions in our home, and now with communication. Now, I have one more fact for you. 86% of parents are concerned about their child's online safety. That's a lot, right? That's why so many people signed up for this webinar today, because they are concerned about their child's online safety. Do you want to know the average time that parents talk to their kids per year about their safety? 7.5 minutes per year. If your concern is here and your execution is here, you are not doing anyone justice. 7.5 minutes per year is not enough. I would love to tell you that 7.5 minutes per day would be ideal. Number one, I need you to open your mouth. When you see a billboard and you are driving down the street, I need you to open your mouth about it. If it is something that doesn't match up with your family's values, or that might scream pornography to you, we have a billboard on our main road right now in my town that is very closely a woman that is not dressed. The first time I drove past it, I just shirked. I shrunk and my kids were in the car. And the next time I thought, oh, Chelsea, you have to open your mouth. You have to say something. Hey, you guys, that billboard kind of makes me feel uncomfortable. Does it make you feel uncomfortable? What do we do when we feel uncomfortable? We turn it off, we talk to a trusted adult, and we turn to something active. That's what we do in our family. So we have to talk about these things. If we hide when we see something uncomfortable, our kids are going to hide when they do. We have to open our mouths. When you see commercials that make you feel uncomfortable, speak up, say something. Remember, one of those beliefs that we accessed earlier was that you're a mom that shows up for her kids. Even when, you guys, even when you don't know the right way to do it. And I get emotional because I never know the right way. I'm here sharing what I've tried and what works sometimes for me, but you and your family, I know that you know the right way for yours. I know that when you access these core beliefs, you will find the right way for your family. And a mom who shows up for her kids, even when she doesn't know the right way to do it, be that mom. Be the mom that shows up. Next, I love suggesting this to people because they freak out. I want you to connect with your kids over technology. especially those kids who are pushing you away as hard as they can, especially those kids who want to make up their own rules, who are sneaking to use their tech, who are hiding all of their tech use from you. I want you to comment on the game that they're playing. I want you to sit down with them while they are playing. I want you to jump in and play with them. Suggest that you play Mario Kart together. Download an app that you can play a game live with each other. This is how we start to build connections. We start to break down our child's brain that maybe tech isn't the wall between us. Maybe it's just how we're approaching it. I want you to stretch yourself. I want you to sit down with them while they work on their school project. See what fonts they're using. See how they're finding their sources. Connect with them over technology. I've been commenting on like the jersey that my kid's player is wearing on Madden lately. And he's like, dude, mom cares what color the jersey is. That's so cool. It's amazing as we stretch ourselves and we enter into their world and we show them that we care about what they care about, something beautiful could happen. They might just start caring about the things that you care about. Try it. Next, I want you to involve your kids and your spouse in tech decisions. Sometimes when I speak, people are like, great, I'm using that second step. I'm going to use facts to fuel my decisions and I'm going to lay down the law. You can do that. You can make a whole bunch of rules and you can slam them down in front of your kids. It is definitely one way to do it. I've done it. It doesn't work very well. We have people break rules. We have lots of big emotions like anger and frustration in our home. And I have found that lots of times I'm not on the same page as my spouse. And so even he is feeling frustrated about the rules that I make. However, I found that communicating with our children and our spouse is the far superior option. I want you to sit down with them. I want you to ask questions. It might sound like this. Tell me why you love spending time on this game. Tell me what you love about this app that you're using. You guys, it can be as simple as that. We're breaking down that wall, that tech wall that is between us and our family. Ask them what they love about it. Ask them why they want to use their precious, precious time on this device. Listen to them, and maybe the conversation stops there. If you feel room that you can continue the conversation, you could say, tell me how you feel when you get off gaming after 30 minutes. My kids often will say, I feel energized and excited, and I actually want to go out and play football, if they're playing a football game or whatever it may be. And then I'll say, how do you feel after gaming for 4 hours? Oh, such a beautiful question. I often get the response, well, sometimes I feel like kind of in the zone. I feel kind of lazy. I feel like I don't have any energy. Your kids might not be as honest as that, but that's okay. But asking them these questions, even if they're like, Mom, I feel great and like I could keep gaming for another 4 hours, that's okay. But next time they get off tech and they are feeling, oh, I don't have any energy, their brain, their neuroplastic brain that we talked about earlier, is going to jump back to when my mom asked me if I ever feel like I have no energy after I've been on tech for 4 hours. I promise their brains start to process that. And as you have these conversations and you listen to them and you ask these questions, simple, simple questions, their brains can start changing too. Their brains are far more easy to program than ours are as adults. Theirs are making new connections constantly. Use that to your advantage. Start helping their brain change. Now, especially if these conversations get heated, we're reminding ourselves of our belief, right? We're reminding ourselves, I can learn anything that I put my mind to. We might be reminding ourselves of that belief, facts fuel decisions. And yeah, sometimes we draw lines, right? We have to. We're parents for a reason. But I can learn why he loves to do this. I can learn why he wants to spend time doing it. I can learn what a good balance is for me and for my family. I can learn to listen to my child's ideas. We can figure this out together. I promise that in these conversations that can be hard and can get heated, if you can keep that belief that you chose in the forefront, you will be able to have calm and rational conversations, even with your teenager. I promise you that. You guys, focusing on your beliefs about a situation can shift everything for you. It can prevent that divide that we've been talking about from forming in the first place. I promise that you can create an entirely different outcome in your home just by following these 3 steps. I really, truly, I believe in you. I believe in parents. I said that in the beginning. I know that you can do this. And I'm so excited for you too. I'm excited for you to access this belief, find those facts to fuel your decisions, and then communicate with your family about them. I know that you can do this. I want to tell you about one thing that I have going on before we log off. In May, I am going to be doing 3 weeks of tech focus classes, and we'll be meeting in a small group. I will give a lesson, a short lesson, and then I'm going to coach. I'm going to talk back and forth with you in this group. It's going to be $100 for the 3 classes. I will record them, so if you pay for them, you can still benefit from the recordings in your inbox later. I'll send you an email about it today. I would love to have you there. As we have these conversations, we shift our brain, we start rewiring our brain, and we change our homes. So if it's something you're interested in, you can always reach out to me, but I will be sending an email a little bit later today along with this recording. So thank you guys so much for being here. If this resonated with you today, I want you to do 2 things. Go to my website and set up a completely free consult. We can talk one-on-one. We can figure out what areas of your life you want to zoom in on and really figure out what emotions are fueling you today. And second, I would love you to share this podcast with a friend. If it resonated with you, it will definitely help them too. I'll see you soon, friends.